start digging.
Okay, cool. Oh, shit. Death, Leprosy. Yeah, I mean, Death has been a band that's just a massive influence on myself. I first heard them from demos from Henry Vegian and Jim Plotkin recorded for me, and been a fan of them, especially for Scream Bloody Gore and Leprosy. Those are my two favorites. Yeah, it's definitely one of the biggest influences for me. In fact, I remember being in Henry's living room, and I was going over to pick him up for practice when I was playing in Revenant, and he was playing Scream Bloody Gore, and I was just blown away by how awesome it was, and how it was like, for me, it was the first like 100% pure death metal album that actually had a kind of a good death metal production and stuff. Before that, everything was really really more primitive and stuff. So yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for any death metal person, death is super important. So yeah, that's super cool. And I remember seeing them on the Scream Bloody Gore tour over at the Sundance in was it Long Island, and then I see him three times for Leprosy. I seen him at CBGB's once. I seen him at Streets, New Rochelle, New York, and Sundance too. Sundance too, and it was great times. There's actually, I see this flyer here too at Malicious Onslaught, which I always used to bust Rob's balls for Malicious Onslaught for putting their logo so big and then having like Death and Carcass, like, by the way, that they're playing too. But this was for the Spiritual Healing album. I wasn't a super big fan of that album when it came out, so I didn't check them out at this show at Sundance, but I did see them in G. Willikers. I don't remember the full lineup, but it was great. I mean, Carcass was on Symphonies of Sickness, which was totally badass too, and I just remember having a great time checking that out. Let's see. This one here is the old kind of big version of the mailer that Relapse did when we switched over from Seraphic Decay Records to Relapse. Our first 7-inch, A Entrapment of Evil, was originally released on Seraphic Decay Records, and they had some issues. It was just a big mess. A lot of stuff was shipped out without covers to it, and I was not happy with Seraphic Decay Records at the time. Actually, Steve O'Bannon from Seraphic Decay Records, he was a friend of mine at the time, and I helped him out a lot with getting bands to sign with Seraphic Decay Records, and he ended up kind of screwing him over or making every band that I suggested to him unhappy. So I was extra annoyed because it wasn't just that he messed things up with our version of the 7-inch. He messed things up with a bunch of versions of the 7-inch. I don't think that he did it maliciously or nothing like that, but it just was, he was, I think, got bombarded and was a little bit unprofessional, but we were all kids, so we were all kind of unprofessional, but we still weren't happy about it. So yeah, that's, most of these were just the small flyers that you put in the mail. Relapse just made a few big ones to kind of hand out at shows and stuff like that for the hell of it.
So before, so we're gonna get into more of just like, I want to ask like flyers themselves, like when you first got into like flyers and how you metal in general, like finding the zines, finding like by digging through this stuff. I want you to talk about how it really like introduced you to extreme music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
What's up there, Matt?
Shit, what's shaking, homie? Awesome.
What's going on?